Well, this is episode 194. Grandpa, how's it feel?
Uh, feel like episode 194. Or
Oh,
does it? I don't know.
I know you vividly remember every episode we've done.
No, you see, I remember every episode.
I know you vividly remember every episode we've done.
No, I ain't that good. I be, I be lucky to remember one. Oh, that's right. We own it.
Yeah, we own.
Oh, okay. So I got this stone. This that last stony.
That's the last Stonies.
Yeah, it's cold, man. Icy. It's pure. It's honest. It's beer. 12 fluid ounces of it from Stony Brewery Company, Lathrop, Pennsylvania.
Okay.
Yes,
Well, I
must
got
good. Let me open it up here and see what it look like. I got a real clear glass here, so you'll notice this is the real stuff.
what you call Brew
Yeah.
Dog, brewed in Ohio, Bushwood beer, Caddyshack.
Caddyshack. Okay, Caddyshack. Oh, there's Freddie. How you doing, Freddie?
Hey, how you doing, man?
Oh, pretty good, pretty good.
Oh, I thought you had a microphone or something over
Why you say that?
there. No, next to your head, it just looked like I didn't know if that was a big microphone, like close to the camera. I
That's
don't know.
my
I ain't got
hat.
my glasses on.
Oh,
So.
okay.
Yet another life joke.
Electro.
Grandpa done took our hair. He done took your vision.
Right.
He don't got glasses.
You don't got glasses. Yeah. I can't see nothing.
Yeah.
All right, you on time today, man. I ain't expecting just to work.
You see what is Auntie coming in on the show?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'll wait for her to come on to say. I was about to say.
I was talking about my beer there.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, see that? Crystal clear.
Budweiser?
Stony.
Sony's Premium.
Stony Premium from Pennsylvania, you know.
Oh,
Not
okay.
in the hall.
Yeah, I brought Grandpa some beer back from when we visited my mom's side.
Ah, nice.
But
nice.
I got some Brew Dog, brewed in Ohio, Bushwood beer, Caddyshack.
Caddyshack.
Shack. All right. I got me another Mike's Harder lemonade, but this one is pineapple mandarin.
Why
There you
not
go.
Mandarin? Man? You know
Yeah.
what?
That sounds like a Bricks edition beer, Mandarin.
People say that. I'm quite sure Kroger sell that, don't they?
I'm pretty sure they do.
I don't even know. I can't remember, but I don't remember seeing none there.
Well, we'll be there Saturday, so I'll make sure I bring you some.
Oh, okay.
So I go get you some.
Grandpa waved like he casting spells. Like, what was that?
I've been crystal.
So guess what? Today while I was at the store, I met a young man who told me, he said, because I'm only 94. I said, you better, sir. I said, my will be 94 really soon.
You say what now?
I met this young man who told me he was only 94. I said,
Young
all right
man.
now.
He was 94, only 94.
Only 94. And that's how he said it. He's like, I'm only 94. And I was like, yes, sir. I was like, my father-in-law will be 94 real soon. He's like, yeah.
That's the only thing going on there. 94. They tell me that the way things going, the 120 is the old 80.
Look here.
So that means that I got a few more if I can hang in there for the.
Look here.
By the time Grandpa
so-
get to one, by the time Grandpa get to 180, 200 be the new 120.
Look,
Yeah, really.
it is so funny because he was talking to me, but this other guy was walking by. He came back. He said, excuse me, what? 94? Sir, I just need to shake your hand because here I am, 65, up there telling folks I'm old, and here you are out at the store walking around shopping and everything else.
Oh, yeah.
Like, y'all make me look at it, and it is very
But
different.
you know what I'm thinking about? The age is now keep getting people living longer.
Mm-hmm.
You think maybe over a period of time it might go back to Methuselah's days when he was 999, something like that?
What is that? How old were they living in?
Methuselah, wasn't he
Oh,
999?
I
Yeah,
don't know if
something
I
like
want to
that.
be in this place that long.
Mhm.
That's the new. That
Ugh.
was 99 was the new 120. You know.
99 is the new 120.
Oh,
Yeah,
Yeah.
999
yeah.
years on planet Earth. Mm. Well, Enoch lived 300 years,
Mhm.
didn't
You
he?
You
did?
say so.
So we all behind, you know.
Shit.
But
300.
Hey, Auntie, look what I named the episode.
wait a minute. Let me go look up top. Your daddy makes me so sick. He makes me so sick.
Where's the
Like
episode?
seriously,
Where
he
do I
makes
see
me
the
sick.
episode?
It's at the top.
Up at the very
By the
top.
for those who don't know, my father can.
Oh, tougher than a Tesla. That it?
Yep. For those
Yes,
who don't
sir.
know, it's an inside joke, but dad got in a car accident, but instead of worrying about his health and safety, he was just like, better make an Android Apple joke.
And not even an Android Apple joke, a crystal Android Apple joke. Like seriously, that's how you wake up and send first messages to the family in the morning.
I mean, the
Okay.
first messages.
I
I'm
mean,
fine, but
I don't know where y'all were liking some comment he said, but I don't see it in the chat. But dad basically called me a crinkly crackly coon.
yeah. He talked about you.
He pretty much did. He pretty much did. Like he did he even say I'm okay? Shit.
He
Like
did.
it was like he just came straight on out. And he's like, Crystal sent her Android people to try to come get me. Her Samsung people like, what? Like, what are you talking about? Cut it out. Sir.
He said hashtag
Whole
sad
mess.
offspring mentality.
So wait a minute. He started the whole text with, I just want to say to Crystal, what? The same people tried to kill me last night. They gonna say, I'm okay, and the Tesla's still strong, but your Samsung dude was taken to the hospital. Next time, be more prepared. What?
Man, he messed that car up, boy. I bet you better not hit no Tesla.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, that was impressive. Like,
Hey,
when I see that dad's back, I'm like, oh, that don't look too bad. Look like someone just barely bumped him. And then
yeah.
you see the next car is folded in half.
Oh yeah, like man. Like
Yeah.
wow. Hey, the Tesla
Yeah.
must be built with that 72 Buick steel. That's what's up in there.
Yeah, I didn't know the Tesla was built that strong.
I mean, I heard they were.
I thought it was like aluminum frame or something, but like that's firm.
Yeah.
I heard it was pretty good as far as like, the crash test and all of that.
Well, we know
But
that
I've never
for sure
seen
now.
nothing like that.
Yeah.
That was an older van too. Like those minivans aren't soft.
I thought that was like a little car.
I thought it was a van.
Oh, that is a min. No, that's like a little. That's one of them little itty bitty, like little Fords or something. That's a little itty bitty thing. That's not a minivan. That's one of them little cars.
Well, I mean, the way it crumpled up, it could have been a big car.
Yeah, he was obviously going fast. But he tore that car up. He tore it up. So, Pops, what you got in that glass today? Let me see how much you don't like your stuff.
Oh, you missed my introduction there. I got that Stony, all the way from Pennsylvania. All the way from Pennsylvania. Living high. Got beer. I forget the year, but they say the beer is pure, honest beer.
Can I see let me see the bottle, Pops. Can I see the glass? The can. Oh, okay. You got.
You know what?
It looks like a real beer in the can, but in the glass, not so much.
I think.
I mean, this is the way beer supposed to look.
Actually, Uncle Pooh, I think I get it now. See, Dad gets his protections of Apple, like how Grandpa gets his protections for bad beer. Like it's gotta be.
What do you mean bad beer?
Stoney's isn't terrible. I like Stoney's, but
yeah, you just typically like bad beer, Pops.
I
You typically like bad beer.
thought he bought me that because it was good beer.
it is good beer.
Yeah, that's a decent one from what
It's
your nephew, your grandbaby said, but we're saying generally you like bad beer.
Oh, okay.
Well, he like Mike's Hard Lemonade, so
That ain't beer.
he is in there.
That ain't
I
beer.
go to the store and look for that. What's the name of that stuff again?
Mike's Harder Lemonade. We'll bring some this weekend.
Okay. Mike's.
We were gonna try to come Friday, but we heard somebody got you all set up for a VIP experience Friday evening.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. We're going Michigan State.
There we go.
I'm
just happy he remembered that part. I told Grandpa before we got on the show, he was like, "Hey, we going to the game Saturday? I mean, it's Friday, Grandpa." He's like, "Oh, right."
mm-hmm.
It's gonna be a good time. I'm gonna get. I took off all Friday, so I'm like, whatever. We gonna get there plenty of time to get good parking and stuff.
Right, that's a good idea.
I love it.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. But today, I must say, so let me ask you guys: did you guys experience like any severe weather this past weekend or the past last week in Chicago? Because it was crazy over here in Michigan.
No, we've been the last few days. It'll get dark like it's gonna do something, and then it'll go away. It'll get dark like it's gonna do something, go away. We haven't even had any rain or anything. But I don't think because when I saw it getting dark and windy, I was like, "Where is this rain coming from?" But it never even rained. So
it was the storm. It was like the storm was so bad here. I think they said 400,000 people without power for a few days.
wow.
Like
that must have been that storm that when I kept hearing that thunder, but the thunder was shaking. It was shaking the house. Is that the day you talking about?
Oh yeah, it was like
thunder.
I think it was like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning over here. I hear like these big. It sounds like bombs are going off.
Yeah,
the wind was blowing so hard it was knocking the power lines together.
Wow.
Yeah. So like that was something.
You lost power then?
Yeah, we lost power for about a day and a half.
Oh yeah, from that other storm last week.
Yeah.
Yeah, we haven't had anything bad in a couple weeks.
Yeah, I was fortunate. I didn't lose no power. I was happy about that.
Yeah.
Which is impressive to me, given how Inkster's power grid is.
Yeah.
But so because of that, me and my wife, after having multiple times when the power has gone out, have finally decided to get ourselves a Generac generator.
That's what I was going to do. I said, if I go out this time, I'm going to find out where to get that Generac from.
We already got somebody here doing it. One of my friend's dads has a company and they install them. So I'll put them in contact with you, Grandpa.
What would a Generac cost from my house?
I don't know. Maybe. Well, your house is smaller than Chase's house, so probably $6-7 grand.
$6-7 grand.
Yeah. Because my friend's house is probably a little bit bigger than yours, and he says his was going to probably cost $8.
Oh, okay.
Ooh. Y'all out here claiming like y'all in Sierra Leone. Power gonna go out. You might as well go to the continent.
Yeah, I was looking
the way I look, so from what I understand, I thought it was just like, I honestly didn't know how the Generac. I thought you had to fill it with gas or something, but it just they take the natural gas from that comes into your house and they plug it into it, and that's how it powers it.
Through natural gas, right?
They even have a feature where you can get like solar panels if you want to have like just ambient light energy stored up in the battery.
That's a good idea.
But I'm just like
But you know something about that light energy solar panel? You don't have no electricity at night if you lose your power.
Well, no, I mean you would have.
The battery costs $30,000-$40,000 for the battery.
Well, I thought it did. I thought that it would charge throughout the day, so even at night you would have some at night.
Yeah, that's the plan. Like you would hopefully have installed it with enough time before an event happened, where some days would have gone by and you would have stored up the energy.
But you got to have a battery though.
Yeah, well, there's solar. There's solar cells.
Chris bought one. He got solar panels, but the battery cost so much he didn't get the battery. So that means that he ain't stored up nothing at nighttime. He said he didn't know it was so involved, but that battery cost, like Sean's battery on his car cost $35,000. That battery to store energy for your house cost a heck of a lot of money.
Look at Chris' face.
So he got the solar panels, but he ain't got no battery.
Well, a part of that, so
the solar panel he got electricity all day long, but he ain't gonna have none at night.
Well, that makes sense for the Tesla because the Tesla essentially is the whole thing is basically the battery. Yeah. Because the under part of the car is one solid piece, and that's where everything is stored at.
Yeah.
But
anyway, Chris, we were just you got to think about it. He said because when he found out the price of the battery, he don't have it. He got the solar panel, but he don't have the battery. Mm-hmm. So all day long he got electricity, but nighttime when the sun go down.
Right.
I don't know.
No, that makes sense though. I mean, it's just that's a lot.
Yeah, it is.
But the way this makes me get to a bigger thing here. Now, I'm not sure if it's just the news or if the infrastructure of America has always been this way. But to me, I've seen the past few years where it just seems like major cities are like losing power more often for storms than they used to when I remember growing up. Like we might have lost power every once in a while, but it seems like every year, certain seasons, we just losing power no matter what. And I don't remember it being that way growing up. You guys might remember it different. Maybe it was always this way, but it seems like the American infrastructure, the power infrastructure, just always seems it just seems in and of itself like it's not up to snuff.
What they do? Shut your power down just now?
Oh yeah, they're installing the Generac right now, so they.
Okay, that's what you were gonna tell me. Okay.
Yeah, that's why I switched the internet to I made my phone the Bluetooth.
Yeah. Okay. Oh wow.
What do y'all think about that? Do you think it's something you think it's always been this way? The infrastructure's kind of been like this, or like has it just been like a recent development?
I don't know. I never even paid attention to it, to be honest. But I mean, that's a good point because it's not like I'm really watching to see if the power is going out in New York or Detroit. You know what I'm saying? Like I haven't been keeping track of that, but that is a good point that right now with storms and stuff like that, something like a storm is taking down power grids in major cities. Like that is interesting to think about because I hadn't thought about that.
Well, I know, what was it, last year before last, it was a big storm that hit Texas, and it basically exposed the fact that the government had not been updating the infrastructure, and like whole regions of Texas were without power for a while. And it was because I think the issue was they privatized the infrastructure, and these companies were just taking money, but they weren't doing what they were supposed to do.
Yeah.
So, I mean, now we see there's a lot of people in Detroit saying like, they don't remember having power outages this from like regular storms. You might get a brownout, but like, what is it? The past couple of years, Detroit has been losing power for several days at a time after a storm, periodically, and that's I have never heard of that like in recent memory. Because I was
I think also social media makes you more aware of things now than it used to be. But I know at the same time we were just in Atlanta and they were talking about the same thing. Kenny was talking about if it rained too hard, the power go out, and like Martin was saying the same stuff.
Yeah.
So that was pretty interesting too. So I mean, America hasn't upgraded its infrastructure, right? So I mean, at some point it's got to wear down. That's just
remember too. Well, I can't say that about Detroit. I'm gonna say much more people on the grid, but Detroit had 2 million people on the grid. We didn't have this problem.
Well, also now two more. It ain't as many people, but everybody got 12 devices.
Yeah, right.
That part. That part.
That's true. Well, I mean, so what was it? I give it like a basic case study. So when we lived on the east side, like when I in the house for a couple of years, I can recall maybe losing power one time the entire time we were there. We were like there 3 or 4 years. Well, probably more than that, maybe 5 years.
You were there that long?
Yeah, because I got back in 2016. No, I bought the house in 2017. 18, 19, well, maybe 3 years. Maybe I was wrong because I remember that I spent a year in that townhouse. But I think from what I recall, we only lost power once while we were there. Now in this new house, and we're supposed to be basically on the same grid or close enough to the same grid as the hospital. And we've lost power probably 4 times since we've been here.
Mm.
So,
huh?
Well,
and I would think the infrastructure
maybe the hospital lost too, but they got that backup system for the hospital,
right?
so
But like
except that they had it. Now you're getting you a backup system. Maybe y'all won't be concerned about power loss.
maybe, but it just seems it's just interesting because I would have thought the closer you got to a major city, the better or the remote or more robust your power infrastructure would be, as opposed to further away.
Yeah, you would think that. But sometimes in these smaller spots, they care more about their people and about the real stuff than these larger cities too. So,
well, maybe that'll be the next government race thing. Because I remember for a while it was like we got to fix the roads, and the roads are getting fixed now. They're like, well, we had to do one or the other. You either want power, or you want your roads fixed.
Yeah, well, they've been talking about infrastructure, right? So it's like all into that, but I don't know. Somebody tucking some extra money, putting it in their pocket instead of doing what they're supposed to do with it. I'm so surprised. Wow. I can't believe that's happening in America. Wow.
Yeah.
But I want to touch on that too, because have y'all heard about this Vivek dude, Vivek? He's this politician running for I think he was trying to be a Republican president, but he's a Indian dude.
Oh yeah, I ain't never listened to what he's saying, but
he's been talking out the side of his neck for a while now.
Yeah, he talking some weird crap. That's why I never listened to him. The minute he go in the opposite direction, then I I don't want to hear it.
Well, no, I mean, what have you heard from him, Grandpa? Because like now I got you lean forward now. So what have you heard from him, Grandpa?
No, like I said, I don't even listen to him. But the first time I heard him say something, it looked like he was going in the direction I didn't want to go in, so I didn't even bother listening to him. He was up there talking his talk, Now I forgot what he said that kind of turned me off, but I backed away from him.
So the most recent thing he talked about was, I think he was saying that the lady who was prosecuting Trump was basically using the same talking points that modern day grand wizards use.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Reading about it.
And he seems to do stuff like that primarily when it's directed towards black people, because I believe a few months ago he was talking about like, why should we get reparations or something like that. He's like, we're all immigrants and things like that, and he, like trying to make it downplay slavery like it was immigration, like it was a choice in that nature. And it's a lot of his talking points are offensive to me. I don't know, I'm not going to speak for everybody. They're offensive to me, and I'm just confused that, like, I made a post about this yesterday or a couple days ago. I was like, how were people about to cancel Jamie Foxx for saying, they did that to Jesus, what do you think they're going to do to you? But Vivek can say whatever he wants about our people as a running platform, and nobody stopped him yet. So I'm just confused about the chosen outrage for what we're seeing.
But it's always chosen outrage. We know that. Like that's not new. That's not new.
But it's more like, to me it should be more dangerous when you hear politicians saying this stuff than movie stars. Like whether you believe Jamie Foxx said, because I don't think he meant anything by it, but whether you believe it or not, like, he doesn't have any power to change your life in any meaningful way like a politician would if they get into office. Like this should be terrifying to people.
Yeah, like with Jamie Foxx, they just love messing with a name and messing with folks. You know what I'm saying? People in this country worry about the wrong stuff all the time. We know that. All the time. The stuff that really matters, people will sweep up under the rug and act like it didn't even happen.
What's concerning to me is the fact and I'm trying to use my words carefully here, that we've gotten over the past few years, at least in the Biden administration, like really has been pushing it, like very pro like illegal immigration and immigration talk. And then when we see people run on the I'm an immigrant platform, they're always talking bad about black folks to prop themselves up. And I don't like that. Like you can't on one hand say that you a black and brown, whatever you want to say, coalition, and then you go at the black part of that to make yourself and your people look good. And you piggybacking off the civil rights that we got and fought for, but now that you done used this up, it's time to go back to the white supremacy talking points. And that's to me is just it's super offensive.
So it is very offensive, but my question is, what's new about that?
It's not new, but what I'm saying is why where are lobbying people? Like where are people who are going to be like, this is terrible, like this shouldn't be like I don't know, where is our mechanism to punish this type of speech against us to use to get power? Like where is our mechanism for that?
They so busy trying to make friends with everybody else. I'm gonna stop. Let me hush up.
Grandpa, what do you like? You've been in politics forever. I mean, you didn't get to see this whole thing. Like, how many times have you seen this happen? Where some other group will come in, claim to be cool with us, and then once they got what they got, start throwing basically racist talking points about our people so they can get voted on.
Oh yeah, well I don't know. They come in on one side of the fence and find out it's better on the other for them. And they come in and get elected, and then all of a sudden they start talking a different point, different position.
I mean, ain't none of this changed in at least the last 50 years. This is why, like, you just got to read like what's been happening beforehand, because nobody's playing, ain't nobody acting surprised about any of this shit but black people. Because black people ain't been paying attention. They not paying attention. We not reading. We not educating the young people on what has already transpired. Claude Anderson been writing for 40, 50 years about multiculturalism and been saying they've been beating your ass with multiculturalism. And that's basically what we're talking about right now. Black folks get behind everybody else's campaigns, the immigrants, the Mexicans, the Indians, the Chinese, the LGBTQ, the Jews. Anybody who got a cause, black folks flock to assist them. And when it's time for us to get something, not now one of them entities.
We don't jump on their wagon, they jump on our wagon. That's why you got all these minorities.
No. It's both ways.
Minorities going to jump on our bandwagon.
Don't be delusional. We invite them on the damn wagon because we try to help everybody else. But when it comes down to it, nobody tries to help us. They just try to get it's been going on for the last 50 years. This is my point. Ain't nothing changed. This politically ain't nothing changed over this case. Other folks jump on the bandwagon, gain as much benefit as they can. Take the assistance of the black community in their voting. They gotta be righteous and people need to help everybody. We do all of that shit. And then when it's time to stand on something just for us, everybody got their hands in their pockets. Like ain't nothing we can do. This shit only just been happening for this probably 70 years, probably longer than that, right? To be honest with you. But
what's interesting about what you said. It's interesting about you said when you said it when you began you talking, you said this has been going on for these 50 years. 50 years ago, Grandpa was your age.
Yeah.
Like that's like surreal to me.
Bruh. And the same shit though. But the same shit is happening. Because you keep following these quote unquote leaders that speak for the community that are nothing but paid agents by the larger entities that's pulling the strings. And it's the same shit. We go through the same dance. Oh, these ain't our leaders. We shouldn't even be having leaders. Oh no, we need to fight for individual rights. Nobody can be wrong. Racism isn't just about color. It's a power structure. These people are the power structure is hurting these people. Meanwhile, you ain't put together shit for yourself. Nothing that includes you, that generates and spends the money inside of your community so that you can start to create programs and things to assist your neighbors in your damn community. You ain't did nothing but ask for a handout. And that's all we keep fucking asking for instead of doing what everybody else is doing, coming together and working together on themselves.
PLO
Playing the same
Lumumba.
game. It ain't
Listen
shit
to this
change.
part. PLO Lumumba from Kenya. You see him on YouTube all the time. And he was talking.
Major player.
He definitely a major player. But he was talking about his apology to Wanda Kuma. Wanda Kuma saying, we got to come together. There ain't no this country and that country. We got to have a United States of Africa, you know. And he was apologizing too. This is what he's trying to say to us is that we got to take in the diaspora's got to take in what's going on in Africa now and become one, you know. Because as long as there's a separation between people who say, well, I ain't got nothing to do with Africa, you're separating the power. It's got to be a unity. Regardless of what, the people in the United States and the people in Africa got to come together as one, as unity. Just like we got the United States of America, United States of Africa.
It's like they always tell you
unity.
They always tell you we're not a monolith. We're not the same people. We're not just Africans. You were all these different tribes. Yeah, that's how Europe was until your ass showed up, until they started fighting against you. All of a sudden, there's a European Union. They all got together. I dare your ass to try to go start some smoke with them. Yeah, them Italians don't like them the British or, the French don't like the such and such. Yeah, the Germans, whatever the hell, till you walk your ass over there. Then you will find out all of a sudden they in lockstep. They in lockstep. But we want to keep playing the separation game. But this ain't really us playing the separation game. This is us listening to the pawns and the people who have sold their voice for $1. You see it everywhere. It's not just happening here. This is the white boys playbook. He's been doing this shit for centuries. It's been working. They running that boy. We fall for the shit. Air rip. Despite goddamn well you need to come together. That's it. It ain't no other solution. Ain't none of these people about to act right, and Jesus ain't falling out the sky. Ain't nobody coming to save you. Like, we got to save ourselves. That's like the only thing that we refuse to accept. I guess because you actually got to do the work, right? When we refuse, that's it. We want to do everything else. We want to pray. We want to tithe. We want to give. We want to talk about karma. We want to do everything else, but just stop spending your money with people that hate you. Spend money with people that look like you and live where you at, and work together. This shit ain't even tough. Mm-hmm. We don't want to hear that. Mm-hmm. Y'all got me fired up today. I guess I'm gonna do a live or something. Turn my camera on.
Well, we got some women speaking out, and there's quite a few of them is on. But I'm still looking at YouTube. But Maya Motley from Barbados, Quail, America Quail. I think her name is Quail. Quao, Quail. She got kicked off the African Union ambassador from the United States. She got kicked off for saying some things that went against, what you call them. Then you got this woman. I mean, there's 4 or 5 women that have been speaking out. They've been telling the story like it is, What they're doing is reminding folks what y'all undone. Now we can't just brush over that and tell them we're gonna go from here. Now you got to go back and you got to repent, for what you done to us as a people. And I can name them. There's 4 or 5 black women. They're constantly on there, letting them know that this ain't over. We can't just say, oh, let's forgive and forget. No, you got to go back and remind the folks what you've done to us and try to correct that, Mm-hmm. And the same thing, perfect example of what's going on now over in Niger, Boko Haram, Chad, all over in that area. It's the same thing the French did to the Algerians. Remember when the French had French Indochina and the Vietnamese kicked them out of China? Mm-hmm. Then they went into Algeria. That's why Algeria is friends of, these African nations, because France gave Algeria hell. They went in the villages and killed up people with their foreign legion shit. And the same thing they're doing in Africa, But The people are waking up now. No, we don't need you. You know, get out of here. Go somewhere else with your stuff. You know, because you ain't doing nothing but just ripping us off of all the resources. And like the woman say, now we get every resources, man. They got 60-70% of all natural resources: the gold, the diamond, the silver, the copper, the uranium, cobalt, you name it. And we the poorest country on earth. I mean, continent on earth, the poorest continent on earth, got all those resources. Somebody playing a game with us. Mm-hmm. And that's a fact. And like I said, these women keep on talking about it. They keep on saying, look, hey, let's go back and find out let's find out about the Berlin Commune. Let's go over it again and see why y'all took all and colonized everything and took everything away. First you take the slaves away, and then you take the resources away, and then you come in there and rule the resources. Something wrong with the game, you know. And this is why you got all these cults going over there now and say, hey, enough is enough, you know.
You said Colts.
All right.
You said Colts?
Did I say Colts?
Yeah, I think
to what? Did I say Colts?
Colts?
I thought you said Colts.
I thought you said Colt.
I'm saying maybe I can kind of clarify myself.
I thought you said Colt.
No, well, that ain't what I meant. Anything come out. But anyway, I ain't remember no Colts. But I was just saying, like, Algerians and Russian them got on the side of Niger. You know, they're saying, hey, you know, oh, who did this? Africa and the world, the greatest lie ever told. Who's this by?
Yeah. This is a Sierra Leone woman. She did a TED talk, but this is like just a couple of minutes.
Mm-hmm.
You seen this?
I saw you posted it. Yeah, I've seen that.
Mm-hmm. No, I haven't seen it.
But she's asking what you're saying.
Can you play it?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, play it.
Let's play this.
Let me know if you can hear it.
Why is it that 5,000 units of our currency is worth 1 unit of your currency, where we are the ones with the actual gold reserves? It's quite evident that the aid is in fact not coming from the West to Africa, but from Africa to the Western world. The Western world depends on Africa in every possible way, since alternative resources are scarce out here. So how does the West ensure that the free aid keeps coming? By systematically destabilizing the wealthiest African nations and their systems, and all that backed by huge PR campaigns, leaving the entire world under the impression that Africa is poor and dying and merely surviving on the mercy of the West. Well done, Oxfam, UNICEF, Red Cross, Life Aid, and all the other organizations that continuously run multi-million-dollar advertisement campaigns depicting charity porn to sustain that image of Africa globally. Ad campaigns paid for by innocent people under the impression to help with their donations. While one hand gives under the flashing lights of cameras, the other takes in the shadows. We all know that. Why is it that 5,000 units of our currency...
That whole talk is excellent if you haven't heard it.
Yeah.
I don't know how to turn it on. There we go.
That was interesting. Good.
I mean, it's factual. I mean, what is it? We're almost all cell phone like minerals come from Africa.
Everything. You know what? They show you how the West does. The United States when they want to kick France out of Niger because of the uranium, and the United States want to keep their supply of uranium going because it's a necessary resource they need for building stuff, you know, for power, energy. And France said, you double crossed us, you know, instead of you getting on the bandwagon, we go in there and take what we want. You jump to the side and say that's your fight. You know, they kick you out, you get back in the best way you can, but we ain't on your side on that, you know. Mm-hmm. That's why these Western countries, they just keep on, hey, you on your own, man, because I got my own interests at heart, you know.
Oh, I'm telling you right now, I think it's a matter of time before France actually is. I think France will probably be one of, if not the first nation that actively pays reparations out to Black folks. Because everybody,
what they need.
Because like what Grandpa just said, and the fact that a couple of weeks ago, Grandpa was talking to me about how France is trying to join BRICS, and how over there, and I'm not sure what their motive is, but like Russia is basically giving like debt, like amnesty to Africa, like y'all owe us nothing, and China is also doing similar things, and there's something happening. But I do think the way how France is basically taking L's in this financial situation left and right, how they got kicked out of Africa, or at least southern Africa,
But see,
and
like,
all that. If
I
it
was
just
saying
seems
though,
like
France
it
not only
seems
got
like
kicked out of Africa, they got to
it's
represent a whole lot of people. They went over there with the French Foreign Legion because they don't use no French troops themselves, but you have a mercenary like French Foreign Legion. And they went into Vietnam in 1954. The Vietnamese people kicked France's butt out of there. You know, the United States want to come back in there and start the same old colonial stuff. You know, France went back to Algeria, was one of their colonies. They went in there and destroyed villages and towns and everything, you know, with the French Foreign Legion, you know. But Ben Bella, like I was talking, if you go to Ghana and you look on the wall, I think Ben Bella is there too because he was in opposition to France coming in there and using them, you know. So they kicked them out. This is why Algeria now is trying to help Nigeria and Boko Haram and all that because they're tired of what France has been doing. You know, they say France is still paying dues, some kind of taxes. I mean, causing other countries to pay taxes, some kind of taxes that the same way they did with Haiti. You know.
well, they're making Haiti. They were taxing Haiti because of loss of product, which is just a fancy way of saying because y'all freed yourselves, y'all owe us for your freedom.
Yeah,
And they were
that's
taxing them
what they're doing
all the
now
way.
with Boko
We
Haram
actually looked that up. What
and
is it?
Niger. You know.
Didn't they just finish the payment in 2017 or something like that?
Yeah, I think it was for 100 years they paid on
It
that
was more than
deal.
100 years. They just got done paying back France, and now I think they're people who are suing France to get that money back because of what it was for.
Yeah, you gotta pay for your own freedom after you don't won the war. Yeah, because they consider you chattel. You owe us. You ain't nothing but chattel. You know, you took from us. Now you got to pay it back.
That's
Yeah, I
wild.
dare you free yourself.
Oh man, it's funny. But
Well,
anyway, it's a new world order coming up, and you can see it now with BRICS. And all of a sudden now it went from 5 members to 11 members, and you got about 20 members waiting to join. You know, because that International Monetary Fund, Brazil is one of the people. They were saying, "Hey, let's cut back on this interest until we can get our country together." And the International Monetary Fund, they say, "No, you're gonna pay the interest on that loan." And Brazil, man, almost bellied up trying to pay the bill that they owed, you know, on interest. And we got that same problem too with interest now. And we all our money, we just paying on that money that we owe. We just paying the interest on it. And that goes up into the billions of dollars, maybe trillions, you know. So all your taxes going to pay for something that somebody spent for some war, just like the money I'm assuming that we spend in the Ukraine, you know. We gonna pay the taxes on that money that we done all the aircraft and all that. Somebody getting rich, but it ain't the little man.
Speaking of that, so like, hey, what was that thing? I remember I saw some videos where people over in Hawaii were upset that Biden basically said, "Hey, everyone affected by the volcano or whatever only getting $700. That should help y'all out." And I'm like, I'd be mad too. Like y'all done took over, y'all done invaded Hawaii, occupied it, made it a state, overthrew the royal family, and then once something bad happens, they watched you like nothing. This is recent. They watched you give billions of dollars to the Ukraine people, but your own citizens who just survived or are surviving a natural disaster, you offer $700. It's just it's absurdity.
Something about Ukraine being one of the most corrupt countries in the world, not in Europe, but in the world.
Well, they told what is it the people
Zelensky's
they said that
mother-in-law. Listen to this one though. Zelensky's mother-in-law just bought $150 million palace over in Egypt. Because they see the crumbling of the Ukraine. They can't beat no Russian. And everybody and Scott Ritter been talking about that now for the last couple of years. Get out of there because they ain't gonna beat no Russia. And you can see it now. The whole Ukrainian thing is just falling apart. And we sending our money in there for what? They tell me that those arms we sending there going to the black market. And then it winds up over in Africa with another. That money goes, I mean, the arm that we bought over in Africa now trying to stop these coups over there, you know.
Mm-hmm.
This thing is, something coming to a head. Something coming to a head very shortly.
Folks are tired of America. Folks are tired of Americans and the tomfoolery. I said folks are tired of America, Americans, and Americans' tomfoolery.
You say they tired of American?
Yeah. Folks
are definitely tired. Well, you can see what's going on now all down in South America. You take like Cuba or Argentina, all those countries down there joining BRIC because they tired of that bull crap with the International Monetary Fund, where they got you paying interest on some stuff, man, that they give you a loan or something, call themselves helping you, but they put you in such debt you can't even pay the loan. You can't even pay the interest on the loan. They say, hey, we don't need no system like that. Let's get out.
Yep.
And right now we have half of the world's population in BRICS, and they still want to join, lining up to join, you know.
Mm-hmm. My brain is going.
I'm just looking at these reports talking about how what is it? The African people who were in Ukraine, like we saw these videos, like were getting treated badly when they tried to evacuate, like they wouldn't let them on trains or nothing or buses. And what was it? I think I'm trying to find the exact report that said the US was telling like their soldiers or whoever they were sending over there to you know not record Ukrainian people calling them the N-word or something.
Yeah.
But it was something like that. And I'm just like, what?
Russia
so y'all know
saying all along that Ukraine has a government and they're Nazis, and they have proven it over and over again it's the Nazis. When Russia fought in the United States, Germany, all those Ukrainian people were on the side of the Germans. They lost a lot of Ukrainian lives for the Nazi party. And that same Nazi party is not only there in the Ukraine, but they got some people up here in the United States with the same philosophy. They tell me they have big things up there in Massachusetts, you know, honoring a guy named Bandero, you know, who was definitely a Nazi who helped knock out some of the Jewish people, you know. So this Ukraine crap ain't for us. But we sending all our money over there, and it's going down the drain because Ukraine is not going to survive this. And we have Scott Ritter. He was an intelligence officer when he went to Iraq, and he told there was no weapons of mass destruction in Iraq, and they fired him. You know, and he's been saying all along for the last couple of years, you know, that Ukraine ain't that Russia ain't going about to give up because they done told them 10 or 12 times, you know, about backing senior citizen.
You can go on, so don't discredit yourself right now.
Yeah, I can't remember what I was going to say. But anyway, Scott Ritter, he was a Marine Corps intelligence officer, and he was in charge of search for weapons of mass destruction. And he was over there back in 94, 95, along about that time before they went into Iraq. And he said they didn't have none. United States government. And right now, if you go on YouTube, look for Scott Ritter. He'll tell you what's going on in the Ukraine. But not only him, John Mearsheimer, Chris Hengel, Norman Chomsky, all them people, they telling you what's really going on and got you believing that, you know, that Russia went in there and Russia tried their best to make peace. And Russia told them that if you take Ukraine and put them in NATO, because NATO went in there and killed Muammar Gaddafi. He said, if you take NATO and y'all go into Ukraine, it's war, you know. So they mounted up, you know, said, y'all, we ain't having this crap, you know. So there's a lot of underhanded crap going on within the government.
Always has been, apparently.
Yeah.
I mean,
My question for you, Pops. Have
Huh?
you always, I said, I have a question for you. Have you always been this into politics? Like your entire life? Or did you get to a certain point in your life where you were like, I really need to listen and pay attention and watch and learn?
I started watching. Well, the news was not sufficient because I used to read Time magazine, and News and World Report and all that stuff. But I really got interested when they put Mandela in jail, and I remember it vividly. And when they killed Patricia Lumumba, I remember that, and the people I was working with were laughing about Patricia Lumumba, ha ha ha. And all Patricia Lumumba told them Belgian people, look, y'all, you and King Leopold and kill up all my people, and we bringing this thing to an end. But the Belgian Congo was full of natural resources. They tried to divide it with a guy named uh, Maurice Chusombe. He had the Katanga province where all the copper was, and they want them to separate from um, from the Belgian Congo, from the government, from Patricia Lumumba, and they're gonna take the copper and make another special deal with them. This is a bunch of crap been going on over and over and over again. They done got away with a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I'm just always, no, I am always in awe to hear you really, what's the word? Is re something. You talk about senior citizen brain. I got menopause brain, but what's the word? Not recap, but whatever. But the way you talk about history and you remember, you know it. Like you could tell you've been so into it. And honestly, I'm over here like I know 10% of what y'all talking about today, and it makes me feel like I'm, especially when it comes to the world.
What gets me too though is that I don't I don't have words. I don't have the vocabulary to try to say what I want to say. But
well, Grandpa, based on what you've been saying about how they've been doing over and over again, how do you maintain that things are going to change for the better if you didn't see this cycle happen
it's
so many
visual.
times?
It's visual. Now, if you look around and you look over in Africa, they done had three coups over in Africa, telling the French, "Get out of Africa. We don't want you here." Uh, Russia said, Russia, North Korea, they're saying if they say go, go, we're on your side. Algeria come in and say we're on your side because they know what the West is doing to them. So right now, that's the change I'm talking about. There's a big change going over in Africa, and I'm so happy for it to see because they keep talking about. The only reason that Africa is in the shape they in with all the gold, the silver, the cobalt, uranium, the copper, the reason they got all that stuff in the poorest country is because they're not united. Everybody got their own. You got to have a visa to go here and a visa to go there. You got no roads to connect the continent together. Over in the United States, we got 50 states, and you can go from New York to California, and you don't need no passport either. Because
But
it's a
you know what?
one.
You got to think about it, pops. That's one country. Like
What's
if
that?
you think about it, that's a country. Africa is a whole continent because we're not just walking over to Canada or
No,
Mexico
no, no,
without
no,
having
no.
some type
Remember
of
now.
documentation.
Remember now. These states here in the United States
Mm-hmm.
were colonies. They built to 50 states. Juan Nkrumah was saying in Africa, the only way you got to have strength, and you can't have United States talking to some little small country and making a deal with them. You got to have one voice speaking for the whole damn continent. The continent of Africa. You can have uh, Ghana, you can have Tanzania, you can have all these things, but they got to speak with one voice. And that's the way the United States is. We got a Michigan, we got a
But
Illinois.
the United States isn't even a whole continent. When we think
No,
about
no,
North
no.
America, we only say America. I
Okay,
mean, think about it. If we say North America, they show the United States. United
okay.
States is not the only country on the continent.
No, I didn't say it was the only country on the continent. I'm talking about the unity. We got 50 states. They could be 50 different countries speaking for themselves. We got 50 states all under one voice. We got Hawaii speaking under voice. We got Guam. We got all these things speaking. We got Puerto Rico all speaking with one voice, right? The United States, whatever going on in Hawaii, you speaking with the voice coming from Washington D.C.
But that's one
in
country.
Africa, you dealing with Tanzania, you're dealing with Ghana, you're dealing with Algeria. They want to have a United States
countries.
Huh?
Africa's 54 countries. This
Yeah,
is one country that you're talking about here.
This is what Juan Nkrumah wanted to do, make it one.
Oh, I believe in unifying the continent. I do. I believe in unifying the continent.
They're trying now. That's why they killed Muammar Gaddafi, because of Muammar Gaddafi going to have one currency for Africa. Instead of having everybody got their little currency, they have one currency. And he was trying to get a United States of Africa. What did they do? United States nation went in there and killed him. And they weren't even supposed to be in Libya. But NATO came in there and killed the man, which was a criminal offense, you know, and ain't nobody talking about it, you know. But we just have to get a one United States of Africa. So you can have 50 states. Like we got our own governor in Michigan, we got our own government in Wisconsin. Do Africa the same way. Every state can still have their leaders, but you got to have one voice speaking, and that will be the United States of Africa.
I mean, that sounds good, but you know, you gotta get the people together first. So I think it starts.
We're not trying to get it together to speak with one voice.
I think it starts smaller with smaller unions, and then when those unions like 4, 7, 10 countries be like, okay, we got like ECOWAS, right? Like, so it's 15 West African states or nations. They come together and they can have somewhat of an agreement. The problem is ECOWAS is infiltrated with the Western mindset.
Western, right? And so there's now, I think Boko Haram, the place right there with Ghana. They saying we're gonna come on and do what y'all. We're gonna take you on, you know, because he was ain't nothing but a puppet of the Western, you know, of the Western governments, and they ready to fight now. Everybody.
Yeah, that's infiltrated throughout Africa. So you're going to have to get over that before you can even almost bring something together. And it's the same here in the United States, right? With black folks. Black folks need to unify too, but I mean, I don't know. A lot of
I was talking about progress. I'm seeing things in terms of progress to me. Nobody don't, I guess, see that but me, but I see where we're gonna have a United States of Africa.
You know what? I'll say this about
this is been because when you have a United States of Africa,
in what time frame?
All diaspora's gonna be part of that one.
Yeah, what's your time frame?
What's my time frame?
Yeah,
it's like I said, it's incremental changes, and that's what's happening now. Now the time frame, it may take maybe not in my time, or maybe not my time, but maybe in the next 50 or 100 years. But it's coming. There's a change coming. Because remember now, we had 400 years of nothing, you know.
Yeah, I go for 50, 100 years. Yeah, all right.
Grandpa would be seeing it change because he's had such a long lifespan that he can tell the change just because he's
pretty sure if you live to 94, you gonna notice some shit. You gonna be like,
hell yeah,
like no, bro.
And here we are
like think about
all phones are different.
Think about this, Auntie. Like Grandpa's so old, he's lived through the transition of people.
Wait a minute, rephrase that.
It's like the battleship was
Grandpa's been here for so long.
He's been here long enough too.
He's been here long enough too to experience the change of white people calling him boy to calling him sir.
Yeah. Well, that's
huge.
Yeah, that's yet to come.
That's huge.
Limited with that word.
Because like Grandpa telling us stories about how he was in elementary school and what they said to him back then versus how people treat him now. Like that would be a huge change to me.
That's really big.
So here's the thing about that though. In elementary school in the North was nothing like elementary school in the South. We had our thing too, you know, we had our part of town, you know, like when Joe Lewis beat Max Mellon in 1938 for the championship. And we went over into the white community hollering 1, 2, 3, 4, who are we for? Joe Lewis. You know, we had our problem, but nothing like in the South where they didn't even have no school buses. You know, you got to walk 2 or 3 miles to go to school, stuff like that. So there was a difference between the two.
Yeah.
But we still wasn't treated with respect that we should have been with, as a people. But
I agree with that. Well,
there
then
was a difference.
I'm glad this is one of the more favorable episodes. Grandpa, we got Grandpa really talking today. I love this.
Yeah.
Let's
I don't even.
let's do our final thoughts. I gotta log back in. Uncle Pooh, you want to go first?
Wow, we talked about a lot. Final thoughts. Hey, we better have a plan for getting out of America and getting to the continent, right, and getting in some safe networks and to start building for the future. That's my takeaway and final thought.
My
Better get serious.
is ain't no getting out. We got to unite. The diasporas and Africa got to come to be one, and we gonna speak with one voice. Right now, they say where you from, you don't know, but you're descendant from Africa, United States of Africa, and then you're gonna get more respect too because all the resources, 70% of all the natural resources over in Africa. And people beginning to wake up. And that's why they're kicking them folks out that's been making deals and lending them money and making them pay for another 100 years for something that was originally theirs. They come in and took over the continent and everything. And then you got to pay them. So that's my thing is that big change is coming. But we got to go as one. We can't get out of that. We got to take part of the American people, the black people got to go and work in Africa, but don't lose their ties with the United States because we won. We won in the same. In all the diasporas, we all won. Because we the only one in the world been treated the way all over the world. Everybody hate the black person. Ain't going nowhere.
What about you, Auntie?
I think I should say ditto to both of them. So what the two Freddys have said today, because when we were talking earlier, I was just, I'm gonna say this. I thank my husband for being. He called me crazy, but I guess he said we crazy together. But for being having the forethought for us to start making our plans to make our exodus because this place is scary and it's not getting any better. Well, I know there's been incremental change, but
too small already.
yeah, it's scary. So
There's gonna be some dips.
Yeah.
Auntie said our incremental changes on dial-up. It's taking too long.
Look. It's almost like the rotary phone where we trying to make a call and we mess up on the 7th number, and now we got to start all over.
We got the AOL. Got to dial up and change internet.
So I'm just glad that we are putting things in place to get up out of here, and got to make sure we get the rest of our loved ones to get in place to get up out of here too.
My final thought is, for a long time, I thought the opposite of what you and Uncle Pooh Bear were talking about getting out of here. Because I was just like, wherever y'all go, it's just going to be a target for America to be, this is insurgent land. We got to we got to insert ourselves and whatever. But then I watched this. It was a clip from an old movie in the 80s. And this dude was talking to this other guy and basically explained to him how he thinks that it used to be your nationalism. I'm just paraphrasing. Your nationalism was like something to be prideful of, right? And like, it was the reason why you loved where you're at. But now it's become like the powers that be have essentially made it that people are the prisoners and the guards. Like, you don't want to leave the city you're from. You don't want to go anywhere. You don't want to try to acknowledge someone else's way of thinking or mindfulness because of the experiences you had, the pride in something that you don't even own. And it made me think that that's a mindset that I have at times, because I'm like, why would I want to leave the safety of what I experience? Because I just see what they do everywhere else. But I'm just like, what they do here is pretty bad to us too. So I mean, it's like, to me, it's not so much that I don't want it. Like, now I'm kind of looking at it in the sense of like, I understand why you guys want to leave, but in my mind is still in the sense of, well, no matter what, you're not safe, so you might as well just do what you want to do. That's kind of where my mindset is at this point.
I got one. I'm gonna put one more thing to say, but I want you to remember the pioneers in this country went westward, where the gold was. Everybody was leaving where the gold was. All out, going out, into the Western California and everything, searching for gold.
Mm-hmm.
The same thing is going on now. It ain't no black people just going to Africa. Everybody's going to Africa. They building these cities. I mean, the people that got money are going there and making a stake and making a claim on what's going on over there. Because Africa is the new frontier, and it ain't just no black people going to Africa. White people, yellow people, green people, everybody going to Africa. That's where everything is at now. That's that new frontier. The same way it was going to California for the gold, they going to Africa for the gold and the diamonds and the silver and the copper and the uranium, the oil, the water. They got the move water power. Then they could light up all of Africa with the water that they got.
But the thing is
that we got to go there and get your steak. I'm telling you, everything is there, and everybody headed that way. Now you probably get on a plane and go. You see, there's more of them than us.
Ain't no probably. That is fact. That is absolutely facts.
Yeah, new frontier.
Yeah. What about you, nephew? Did you get yours?
Yeah, I got my final thought.
Hey, Josh, well, I say this. See, if I was a little bit younger, you could get out little pictures and go in and search for that gold we was talking about. Panning gold. Man, they exporting gold out of Africa.
I remember your plan was you get a chair and I get a shovel and you just you manage me digging in the ground. That's what
we're gonna be equal though. We're gonna share now.
Share the work or just the profit? That's what it sounds like. Yeah,
that's all. You don't want to go for the silver. You don't want the silver, go for the oil, the copper, the cobalt, the uranium, the titanium. They even talk them exporting the titanium for the batteries. People say, why can't we got to send the resources there? We can build the batteries ourselves here in Africa. We want to do some of that finished product stuff, not take the resources away and lend us some money. We ain't beggars. And the black women screaming that we are not beggars. We the richest continent on the earth. And we should deserve a part of it,
I dig it. Well, I gotta go back now. This is a great episode. It's a great episode. I love you guys. I'll see you. I'll come to get you Friday, Grandpa.
Okay.
I can't wait to get my ribs.
You want them? You want it Sunday or Saturday when you get here, Auntie? You
can bring them over. You don't have to make me a special batch. I can eat with the family as long as I taste it. That's all I care about, baby.
It's like, don't bring it.
Yeah. If you want to bring me some special ones, you can. But I'm fine with sharing. I'm not selfish. Okay. Us Android people got to stick together. We know how to share.
Yeah, we know how to share.
That's that naivete.
Even with the Apple folks.
That naivete. I would have took them on Saturday and Sunday.
See, that's that Apple mentality. That is that Apple mentality.
It was just
Apple mentality.
Can't even see the apple. There we go.
That's just terrible. I can only imagine. It's funny because he's okay, but I'm just like, that's really what he thought about.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I can tell a joke.
Because I open the phone and I see all the pictures first, and I'm scrolling down like, oh no, because I see the Tesla, and then I see that crap, and I'm like, I'm gonna still be a bigger person, and I'm gonna say I'm glad you're okay. I'm just gonna leave it at
that. It's wild. Well, I love you guys. I'll see you there. You get back to work.
All right.
Yeah.
Bye.